The beginning of the work week, and welcome to Inside the Show. Starting in the AL East, the Rays picked up 14 hits in total as they beat the O's in Baltimore 8-5. In more news from Tampa Bay, third baseman Yandy Diaz will be out of action for at least 10 days, headed to the disabled list. He's got a fractured bone in his hand. Entering the day's action, the Orioles sit in last place in the American League East Division, while the Rays are fourth in the division. The Minnesota Twins totaled 13 hits as a team as they defeated the visiting Yankees 8-1. As of right now, the Twins are leading the American League Central Division, while the Yankees are in third place in the AL East. The Red Sox put up 16 hits on the day as they secured the win in extra innings against the Cubs 11-9. As of today, the Cubs sit in first place in the National League Central Division, while the Red Sox sit atop the American League East Division. Teoscar Hernandez had a home run and 3 RBIs as Toronto defeated the Pirates 7-3. He has now hit safely in 7 straight games. In other Pirates news, second baseman Adam Frazier is reportedly being made available to other teams in the trade market. A possible landing spot for him could be the nation's capital. In the standings, the Pirates are in third place. It's Monday morning, and welcome to Inside the Show. Looking first at the American League East, Miguel Andujar was a major force at the plate with 6 RBIs as the Yankees disposed of the Rangers 7-5. He is in the top 5 in the American League in hits. In other news from the Bronx, the club has made a trade and have acquired left fielder Anthony Santander from the Baltimore Orioles. In exchange, Baltimore receives second baseman Tyler Wade, according to team reports. At the start of the day, the Yankees sit in third place in the American League East Division, while the Rangers are in fourth place in the AL West. The Boston Red Sox had 12 hits as a team as they took Hi, everyone, and welcome to this Saturday morning edition of Inside the Show. Let's take a look at the latest news from around Major League Baseball. The A's push past the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine 3-1.
Hello? Hello? This is the off season right now that I'm at. First off season. I turned the budgets off. Try to get an idea what contracts would look like, what trades. Like I posted earlier, if you use the default roster, there's numerous trades on April, just prospect swapping. But if you use the roster that I put up, that I downloaded, and made a couple of modifications to, you don't have those trades any longer. What you do see, though, is that the contracts are undervalued, but it's changing each sim, which is strange in some ways, because I've had closures with only $5 million contracts are getting a little bit more. Trades happen differently. So it really is changing here. I'm not sure why. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Maybe people that are on can help out. So I'm just going to scan through here. I'm looking through rosters. I'm in the off season, like I said, starting the second off season, second season. As you can see here, there's Mookie Betts. He just re-signed, or just signed, I should say, with the Braves. There's his new contract. Now the upper level guys seem to get relatively accurate contracts. I don't know if they're great, but they're better than the other guys. I'll see if I can find somebody else here. Jonathan Villar. Actually, that was actually a decent contract that I've seen. I've actually seen him in a lot of sims getting like 6-7. Take a look here. Kirby Yates. This is a good contract. But again, it's going down. There's different contracts that I've seen really, really bad, like $5 million contracts. Let's see if I can find something here that's a little bit different. And I'm going to give her a couple sims here, and maybe we'll go back and sim again. But what I'm looking for, errors, issues, bugs, things that happen. So usually I start out looking at financial aspects of it, and they attempted at one point to try to adjust the financials, and they did a good job. At least I thought so a few years ago. Then they changed the franchise. If you remember, they went back to a different type. And what I mean by that is they changed it in the budget. I hate the budget that they have now. It's really awful. It's awkward. It's cumbersome. It doesn't make sense. I still can't figure it out for life. I mean, I'm pretty good at figuring things out. Just go through the contracts here. I mean, you can see here some of the people in arbitration. The arbitration engine was still from the original one, and the arbitration actually is better than the free agent contracts. There's Tommy Pham. Looks like he signed early. And that must have been before his 6 years. So during arbitration, he signed a 2-year deal. So what I do is I usually sim for a while, figure out what the bugs are, hope for a patch, give some input, feedback, and if I can somehow reiterate to the developers and they patch some things, it's awesome, then I can move on. If not, I try to find ways to work around it. Sometimes it might be simming or pausing things, or just changing things up a little bit, stepping in. That's why I use 30-team control, because I have to step in. Alright, so let's do a sim here. This, we're going to skip this. We're going to advance the regular season. So we're going to sim the season. Now, here, starting to trade here, and that's fine. I think the trades are a little bit better so far from what I've seen from last year. See here. Now that looks like a trade. Now I'm wondering what Cespedes was making. So I'm gonna go out. And we're gonna go here, transactions. So his trade for the Red Sox. Rangers have him now. So we're gonna go to the roster. I'm just curious to see kind of what the contracts are that are being traded. So one of the reasons I went to, and trust me, I hate doing it. I like having a budget, and I have to kind of play by myself with the budgets, because I understand that I can play within that guidelines myself. But what I'm seeing is that there might be, it opens up the trades a little bit. They have the ability to trade for a big name star in July. And I don't see that ability if you keep budgets on. They can't make those trades of more than $5 million. So the Rangers traded for Cespedes. I want to see what his contract is. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing most trades are still $5 million and under. I don't see people picking up any more than that. So you don't see the $16 million trades, the superstar trades. What you're getting is you're getting mostly guys that are arbitration, renewable stars that are traded. You're not seeing the dumps for prospects of guys hitting the free agent market. As I say that, but if you look, Jock Peterson, I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty much wash in salary. So we're going to look at that. White Sox acquired Jansen. So we're going to look at Jock Peterson's salary. So we're going to look at Jock Peterson roster. It's funny. Dodgers go get him back. So let's see. Yeah, that's interesting, because that's about $9 million difference there in the trade. Recently signed guy. That's really interesting to me. And I'm in the second season. Usually they slow down a little bit, trades and stuff in the second season. So that really, Liam Hendricks was signed by the Yankees, it looks like here. Let's see what his contract was. About an average of $12 million a year or so. Not bad. What's this over? He's an A overall. Huh. Interesting. Let's see, here's one. Ken Giles, B potential, 88. He was at 89. So his contract starts at $5 million, moves its way up. See, they still have the bug here from this. Some here. Jansen. Okay, just checking. Move on. That's an interesting trade. I like that. Similar to the draft. I'll go back and look at the draft picks in a second. Young trade. So we're gonna go to sign draft picks. What I'm gonna do is just skim here and see what high potential guys what they are. So you see, they might be. Oh, here's one. That's. See, what I noticed before last night simming is that in a few years you see these guys become loaded with high potential pitchers, super high potential pitchers. So it gives you an idea of what's out there for A potential guys, where they are, and the guys that got a quick path to the big leagues. I mean, this guy probably has a chance. He's A potential rising. He'll probably see some big increases. Here's a borderline guy, low rated. Pitchers seem to be higher rated, and that's one of the concerns. They come in the league and they push, and they push out some of the guys, existing guys. I think that they should have some guys come in that are high rated. So here's one. It's gonna be Pirates. Let's see what we got here. So my wife always asks me how come I'm sim. I love this aspect of the game. Yankees dumping a pitcher for a prospect. Cam Williams and Nationals. Jesse Winkler got traded. So in July, obviously, it picks up the trade. When I restart the sim and I start from year one again, I'm going to try to increase the trade slider for July to see what happens. Quality of trades. Like I said, I'm not seeing those big expensive players traded though. Except that one I just saw, which is odd. So again, I'm here and I'm in the second season at trade deadline, looking at trades, see what's out there. So like I said, I see a lot of this. I see guys that are like under $5 million a year traded. And again, I turned the budgets off to try to open up the trades a little bit. Here's one. Chris Archer got traded. I want to see that one. See on the Mets side. So what they have. But the one thing I'm noticing really is they really need to open contracts up a little bit. If they're going to have real contracts, they have to have kind of realistic contracts in the offseason. It doesn't do any good to have them have $5 million deals and go back to the old system that they had before. So here's Chris Archer. Yeah, he's a C potential, making $3 million. Like I said, it's nothing huge here for big salary dumps. There you go. Dropping guys. So I'm going to go to the end of this season here. This is the second season. Stop. Here's a big trade. Like again, Joey Gallo's $5 million. And that's what I see. I don't see, no matter what, I just cannot seem to open up those big trades. And even with the budgets off, I was hoping to get the guys that were $15, $16 million players getting traded. You just don't see that anymore. You see a lot of guys that are in arbitration years, the final arbitration, which I can understand, getting traded. But you don't see the guys that are established vets, which is the one thing I miss from older franchises of the show. If we had to go back to the regular contracts that they had before. It's kind of half done when they put the new contracts in. So finishing the season off here. This is second season. Okay. So looking here, here's your team. The
regular season is winding down, but the postseason races are heating up.
Here.
Here's how yesterday's
happens a lot with
action
pitchers, especially in stamina.
Central, the Minnesota Twins combined for 4 total home runs.
Now the other thing that I noticed is that certain players, let's see if I can find, I'll show you,
has been placed on the 10-day disabled list. He's suffering from a torn groin muscle.
So if it
As
goes
of right
here,
now, the Indians sit in second place in the AL Central Division, but
any guy like this is a holder vet.
Wild card race.
If they have somebody in front of them that's going to take their spot, that's when you see the massive decline in ratings, and they have the massive regression. Anytime there's somebody above them, they push them out. And realistically, this shouldn't happen. Players have to be optioned in, so that's what I've been asking for before. You have to be optioned down. I'm not quite sure why they allow it. Probably should just release them. So let's go. Just look at the budgets here quick. Just look at the bank balance. What it means, I don't know. I honestly don't know what that means. But you see, they have a cash flow balanced budget. So their salaries, player salaries, only $56 million. This is what bothers me because they should be much higher for real contracts. And the problem is that it doesn't account for anything. Look at the, I mean, this is unlimited budgets too, and they're still not spending their money. Look at the Phillies here. Look, player salaries only $129 million. How's that possible? We're in the second season, like I said, and we just not spending money. You don't see any here. There's just no money spent. Arbitration numbers, arbitration, renewables, they actually go down in arbitration from what they start out with. So if I took the default roster and took a look at these guys, they'd be down. And you don't see some of these guys here that are before. I mean, if I look, you can take a look here. Look at the Brewers for $76 million. I mean, we're talking here like mid-80s type payrolls, and this is supposed to be real contracts. I mean, look at contracts that are signed here. This was a contract that was signed This guy's probably going to make 20 plus million a year in the real baseball at the end of the season. And this is the issue that I run into. And you'll see, like him, he'll have a decent deal usually at the end of the offseason. And Dodgers are only showing 197 million. Their budgets are going down now each year. So from where they start the first year to the second year, the budgets go down. And even the Yankees here, you see, they're going down. And watch what will happen after this season here. These guys will move off and the budget will even go down farther. So I'm going to just sim through here, get to the off season again. Like I said, this is the second season. Angels won the World Series. Somehow that happened. Okay, I'm going to the off season. Now, qualifying offer went up. Here's our retire players.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to this special
Pujols usually retires. Either Pujols or Cano retire every year, basically first or second year. That's another thing I don't like. That before they used to have it where if you had a contract, you couldn't retire. So it was a way to keep a guy in. So if you forgot about it, you can go back and adjust the ratings, keep them in, keep them relevant. But it doesn't work anymore. Contracts mean nothing. So you can go sign a guy for 10 years at $330 million a year, and once he's done, you can just either release him or he'll retire on you, and you don't have to worry about having that as part of your budget. There's Pujols. Okay, so like I said, I took budgets off for this sim because I wanted to see how contracts would be at budgets off, trying to hope to goose them up a little bit. Like I said, it hasn't affected trade logic so much that I can see. We're going to see here. Now here's a Syndergaard sign. Now you have to take this with a grain of salt. When it has this is a bug from last year that they never fixed, where it says the contract total. Well, they do is take the first year of the contract and they multiply by the years. And it isn't really truly the contract. So we'll check it out. So Syndergaard signed. We'll look here. So we can go here, take a look at where he signed with. I'll go through everywhere here too. We're going to see the offers for salary arbitration are too. Exit the nope. Okay. So you can see here, Judge, all these guys, they're arbitration eligible. What you're going to see is we're going to look and see what their offers are. Here's an offer out here to Gary Sanchez for a long-term deal that the computer is giving. Okay, so Syndergaard signed with Astros. I'll go to the Astros. See Syndergaard and see what his real deal looks like. This is real deal. Probably close to about 24, 25 million if you look at it per year. Okay, coming up. So I'm going to sim through here. You're going to see. Like I was saying earlier, the contracts changed. And Jansen, he went from making $16 million a year. Probably that's closer to what it is for 3 years, 7 and 7. He'll probably make it most 8. Conforto, young guy here. Freddie Freeman. Kershaw, that's a pretty decent deal he's going to get. That's not bad. Okay, not bad. Now here we have some trades that will start flowing through. Now this is where you see them dump big contracts. It's kind of like they reshuffle in the off season. So we're going to see here some trades that will come up. I'm going to stop simulating just to see the transactions. Okay, we're gonna look at trade free agency, so we kind of get an idea of what we have here, what people signed for. So you see Kyle Seager signed a 1 year, 3.9 contract. Puig. So let's go. Sometimes it's easier to do it this way. So we're gonna look and see who's got the new deals. Like I said, that's not a bad deal for Clayton at that point in his career. We already saw him Syndergaard, but it looks like Astros are starting to build up the rotation here. Correa signed a new deal, looks like. Gave a little bit of a discount. Looks like about 22 million a year. So, again, contracts are based on the team, and I guess that's accurate of what it would be in real life. I mean, different teams have different money. But you'll see, and that's not a bad deal. It all depends on the sim, which is really strange how the contracts work. I'm going to get through this season. I'm going to start over and I'm going to do another sim just to kind of compare for a couple years. Here's Baez. He's got a deal. So his contract is. It's a pretty decent deal. Obviously, shortstops make more money anyways. And here's another decent deal. Bryant. They're spreading the money there. That's the Cubs. I want to see at the end of the season what we have, what we're looking at. These are all guys that have signed prior to free agency, it looks like. So in the exclusive period, you can actually make those guys, if you want to, hit the open market by putting contracts. If you use 30-team control, put the contracts to manual just before the end of the exclusive period and change it over. Then they hit the open market and it's free game for anyone. And I do that sometimes if I want to sauce the market up a little bit. Let's see, down here. And actually the contracts aren't as bad on the sim. Like I said, we're in the second season. Trevor Story, I bet this is a decent, yeah, it's a decent contract. So not bad. Like I said, I finally gave in last year because of the trade logic. Because of not seeing trades happen that I liked, I gave in to removing the requirements to have a budget. It just didn't make sense any longer. So the teams try to keep themselves to a budget anyways, and I'm not trying to game the system for myself, my own purposes. And sometimes I'll even go through if I'm playing 30-team control and I don't see the movement I like to see. I go through and I do some trade block requests for other teams to see if I can get some movement if I think that they should be on the trade block. So here's some contracts that we're seeing. You can see the new ones. Porto there. I'm gonna sim through this quick. So we're only in December. And here's some of the trades I was talking about. This is where you get some of the big trades that happen where you have people adjusting their budget by moving the bigger. Well, here's one here. That's a big trade there. Donaldson, big money. They moved. Let's submit the Rule 5 draft. Stroman was traded there. See, this is where they're trading some people. And obviously you can adjust it. And I've actually thought about adjusting. I know some people adjust the... So we'll look here. Spring training. I'm going to look and see if there's any free agents available. So here, this is the end of year 2. This is our free agents that are available. So that's hard. That's a hard one. Now I know he's older, but he came off a season where he had 30 home runs, 95 RBIs, 102 walks, 294 batting average, and he's sitting on the market. Granted, he's 35, but he's playing pretty well. Yeah, I can understand stuff like that. He's older. Alex Wood, let's see what he's got here. I mean, even some of these other ones, Cespedes is in real life sitting still, so. But he had 29 home runs, 263 batting average. I mean, this is after year 2 with budgets off, so they can sign anyone they want. So there's some good players right now that are sitting. And again, the reason for that is sometimes the progression system in this game here, and based on the prospects that are on the roster. So here's Lindor. Let's see where we have. Just check out some of these budgets. Again, I hate the budget system. So here, Brewers only $105 million budget right now that they're at their payroll. Pirates $55 million, and look at this, the numbers. I mean, it's insane. If you're gonna have real contracts, you just have to have better contracts. When you have people sign, you have to have a better system. If you're gonna go through and say that's a new feature, you have to make it a complete feature. So here's this. I mean, again, only 136. Diamondbacks at 95 million, and this is including all their levels of their system. Here 147, and that's even with a couple big contracts, top heavy. So you look down here, it's nothing. You look here, price. I mean, after that, look, this is the Dodgers. I mean, they're just nothing. No big contracts anymore. Price will be gone. Padres. You get the top two guys there from that they've signed in real life, and after that, nothing. Really nothing. This is the issue that I run into. That bothers me. Here's the Red Sox. Again, their budget's going down, and it looks like the guys here, let's see if they've got anyone really signed. This is about what the Yankees' budget is in real life. Let's see if they've got anything here new. Even this is Blake Snell's had a 4-year deal. Stroman they traded for. But here, White Sox are pushing that budget. They took on Wheeler. They still have Abreu. Looks like they signed McCullers Jr. It's a decent contract too. I mean, Dorga is an extension in Cleveland after all. Freddie Freeman got signed there too. But they got Chapman too. Wow. Ramirez must be a bench player here. And then you have this. So let's see what we got here for overall. Yeah, still going on. Nothing new really. They took on Votto. Nothing really there. Let's see. Let's just go quickly through here. Elvis Andrew. I'm gonna start a new sim. Start from the beginning. So I want to test and compare it to where we had before, so you can have an idea. I'm also curious. Trying to look through a few different things here. Like I said, I'm looking for bugs. I'm looking for things that maybe the studio can patch, make our experience a little bit better with franchise mode. So I'm looking right now really contracts and trade engine. And there's so much more to look into. I haven't even started looking at arbitration, renewable players, releasing prospects. I know the option thing is in that people are saying there's an issue right now. I haven't even checked into that yet. If teams are losing prospects because of options, I'll have to go through. Maybe I'll do that next sim on in April and see what we have. So let me stop here, and I'm gonna start a new franchise. So I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna start a new one. I'm gonna load. I can't use the rosters, the default ones. So I'm gonna use the test roster that I had. I have 30 team control. I have set up here. I'm going to turn ignore budgets on because I want to ignore the budgets for this one. Everything is going to be set for automatic. I want to start in spring training. Okay, injuries, everything is on at this point. I just want to make sure because they change. That's the one thing I hate about the new system. They change and they always make this manual for drafting. So I want to have the draft set. So I come back. Okay, so we're gonna go here and we're gonna start now. The old roster, the default roster, if you simmed on April 1st, you did about 20 trades of prospects or swapping prospects. Now you can see it's back to normal with this roster. So it's definitely a roster issue. I don't know what's wrong with that roster. I copied this from somebody else and took a few things. So right now we have everything off. I'm going to check too, before we get too far, the options. So the Indians trade the shields. So let me go back here. So we're going to go to transactions. We're going to go to completed transactions. Alright. So here's the first trade. Injuries, free agency, no one's here. So we're going to look and see. Anyone, let's go by team. Roster. Actually, let's check the free agents, because that would be the first thing they'd. I just go through waivers as well, so I can check pending ones. But here's our prospects. That's not good. I gotta make sure that they're default though. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Now I'm gonna have to check and see if they. I'm not sure what team, the prospect this is. We'll look it up and see. I'm curious what team he's from. It's the Twins organization. Let's check and see. Transactions, completed transactions. Australia, we're gonna go to the Twins. We're gonna look here. I don't see them option. I don't see them optioning them. I wonder if he's. I'll have to go back and check after we do a sim and see that. So we're gonna look Chin. I don't see him. Alright, so let's go back to our sims. We're simming. So again, much fewer trades here. Small prospect trade. Here's one. And here's a bigger trade. Abreu, Jackie Bradley Jr. going back. Depending on how much Bradley Jr.'s contract is. I always like to see if I can find the big trades, the $10 million plus trades that they can add $10 million onto a salary. Fuentes gets traded a lot. He's blocked, so that's why. Austin Hedges traded. So there's a prospect for an established player. Much fewer trades this sim. Over the years, a couple ways I found out to get more trades. Not only adjusting the trade slider, but injuries. If you bump the injury slider up, the team has to fill holes, so they make trades. So in July, trades are increased. The Yankees on almost every sim trade for him. So I'm looking for like the 3-for-1 trades. Looking for the established players though getting traded. And here's one of the relief pitcher. And, well, it looks like a kind of a salary match. So you got Wade LeBlanc. He's probably making similar amounts of money. Now here's a big one. So this is big. This is like what. This is why I like to see with the when you take the budgets off. You can see these things. I gotta see how much Starling Castro's making though. And Eaton. So you got Castro and Eaton. So let's see. They're going to the Indians. So if their salaries match up, it really isn't that big of a deal. That's the problem. Starting Castro, 6, he's making $6 million. Ian, 10 million. They took 10 million on. That's good. That's what I want to see. And you don't get those type of trades without having budgets off. And like I said before, the budgets, this is the hardest thing for me to do, but the budgets really, they still try to stay within the budgets. It really affects the trade logic, not so much the signing, because I was hoping to have bigger contracts. Offer to the Yankees. Yankees made a trade here for an established player for a shortstop, which surprised me because, let's see, when you have Torres, that's hard to believe you're going to be trading for a shortstop.
It's Sunday morning. Welcome to Inside the Show. Starting in the American League Central, the Cleveland Indians got 11 hits overall as they grabbed the win against the visiting Royals, 5-3. In other Indians news, starting pitcher Shane Bieber is currently listed as day-to-day. He's dealing with stiffness in his back. Lurie Garcia had an outstanding...
Right here. So as you can see, you have more trades in July, which obviously you should. This is usually when the big trades happen too. So this is what I'm looking for. There's a Kane there. There's a trade. Money being exchanged. So hopefully there's a few more here. So sometimes I have to bump the trade. Yeah, there wasn't much there. That was it. So there wasn't a whole lot of action there in this sim. See, now I'm going to get to the off season. I want to see signing logic and see if it's similar to what I just saw last time. Sometimes that first off season it's a little bit different. It's not as much, and I don't know if it has to give time to retire some of these guys. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can show something that I always notice, and it drives me nuts. So let's go here. Let's take out second base. Go to the Mets. Okay, Robbie Cano. He's still hanging in there. Alright. So Robbie's here, hanging in there. See this attribute. So you can see he's dropping across the board here. He's 37 years old. That's expected. Now, if Judd was higher than him, and Judd was in the minor leagues, which I'm surprised he's in the minor leagues, but if Judd was higher than him, put him on he would drop like a rock. So if he places in front of him, Robinson would drop like a rock and he would retire mid-contract. So let's see here. First baseman too. First baseman, I want to see Angels. And here's the issue. So you have this. So if I come in here, because it's past the draft, so let's end the season. Okay, I'm gonna send here. Yes, I'd like to stop simulating. I wanna check out a few things.
The regular season is winding down, but the postseason races are heating up. Here's how yesterday's nail-biting action went down. Starting in the AL West, the Angels finished off a 3-game sweep as they grabbed the win against the visiting Athletics 4-3. It was their 7th straight victory. In other Angels news, catcher Jason Castro is listed as day-to-day, but is not expected to see any time in the DL. He has a pulled calf muscle. Heading into the day, the Angels are in 3rd place in the AL West, 11 games out of first, while the Athletics are 2nd in the division, 6 games out of first.
Pitch well.
Mitch Haniger was fantastic at the plate, collecting 5 hits, helping Seattle take care of the Rangers 14-2. Also in Mariners news, closer Gerson Bautista has been placed on waivers by the club. As of today, the Rangers sit in 4th place in the American League West, 20 games out of 1st. While the Mariners are at the bottom of the division. They're over 20 games out of 1st.
Okay, so here we are.
Amassed 14 hits in the game as they stole the victory in extra innings over the Astros, 7-6. In other Astros news, relief pitcher Brad Peacock has been placed on the 60-day disabled list. He's got a wrist fracture. Entering today's action, the Braves are atop the National League East division. They are more than 10 games ahead of second, while the Astros are leading the AL West, 6 games up on second place. The Tampa Bay Rays earned the 3-game series sweep as they took down the Yankees in the Bronx, 6-3. In the standings, the Yankees sit in first place in the American League East division. They have a 3-game cushion, and the Rays are second in the division, 3 games back. The Baltimore Orioles pounded out 17 hits in this one as they took down the Red Sox on the road, 4-2. As of right now, the Red Sox are in second place in the AL East, 3 games back. And the Orioles are at the bottom of the division. They're over 20 games out of first. The Toronto Blue Jays knocked out 10 hits as a team as they beat the Tribe in Cleveland 2-1. Heading into the day, the Indians are in second place in the AL Central, yet they currently lead the race for the American
postseason. I want to see the other. I'm going to try something. Advance the off season. Pujols is almost positive be done.
And welcome everyone to Inside the Show, the best source for all the off-season news from around the baseball world. Here's the latest from around the league. The Twins grabbed the win against the visiting Reds, 7-3.
Strange. Free agent. Pujols, ready to go. All right, so going to. Any transaction? No. So we're gonna sim here. We're going to start to see some signings and trades in the off season. Qualifying offer 8. See, this is where it's strange because every year, different contracts, different type of contracts. Jock Peterson, the last sim I had, he was making $11 million a year. Starling Marte is making more now in this sim. So it depends on the team they sign with. I think it's the market, the team, probably the space that they have. JT Roll. See, I've seen him with 20 million plus a year. Strange. And here's Hayward. They make a salary dump. This is where you see the big salary dumps in the offseason. Last sim we had, I had him sign with the Yankees. He was getting 11 or 12 million a year. See, this is the problem. The contracts are way too low for closers, especially. Have to go through here and take a look at these contracts in a second. And this is about what he signs for every time, 12 and a quarter usually. Obviously, this isn't real. They still have a bug from last year. So let's see what we got here. Stop simulating. I'm gonna just see what we have for transactions. Let's see what our signings here. Anybody sign? That's easier. I don't know why I do that all the time. It's easier sometimes just to go through and look here. Well, here's Bauer. We'll see what his real contract is. I guess it's like 12.5 million a year. See, I really would love. This is the highest one. Oh, here it goes. It goes backwards. I didn't realize this. Yeah, so that's about normal for him. He usually is around 15 million a year, Kluber. Depending on if his rating, if his potential drops each year. If his potential drops to the B, then he drops down. So like I said, when I have contracts off, it doesn't really affect salaries. It doesn't change it. This is about the same. Never changes much there. This is where I hope that they adjust. I hope they really work on the salaries. adjust it. I'm hoping they can patch something of it in. And I would love them to be able to patch in so we can edit the option years. I mean, everything in that card should really be editable. And here, I mean, that's not a bad contract for him. Probably, I wonder if it's, yeah, it's front loaded. I assume that it would be. I mean, you'll see guys that make more in arbitration than they do in free agency, which just bothers me. Stroman here, I mean, he's a pitcher. His free agent contract 7.6. Stuff's crazy to me. Tansa's $5 million. That's what I see a lot of relievers. He's really underpriced here. You got 5.18. You're looking at about 18 million, a little bit more, 18.5 million a year. A lot of Sims I see him a lot higher. This is the highest I've seen him. Like I said, it's front loaded now. Yeah, that makes sense. So it gets tricky here with you see those. Look, I mean these guys here. I mean, it's potential. The potential really impacts the roster quite a bit as far as what you have for salaries. I'll sit here a little bit in a second. Just want to check quick and see where we're at. Christian Yelich, they don't have his extension in. See what he gets on the open market. Sure, it's not going to be what you got in real life. So the arbitration went through. We'll see some trades. There's Greinke got traded. That's a big contract. So here's the thing that drives me nuts. So Phillies must have just re-signed him. So we got a sign and trade in baseball, which again can't happen. Michael Brantley. I mean, here's a decent player, 89 overall. He's getting 18 million for 2 years. Baseball would love that. Players wouldn't, but baseball would love that in real life. And here's where you see some bigger trades. Again, a lot of the trades that I see, guys, arbitration, young guys that are high rated, they get traded for a couple prospects. Simulate the Rule 5 draft. Joey Votto got traded. Big contract they moved. Here's, wow, that's a lot to give up for a relief pitcher, huh? Santana, I believe he was just signed too. He was re-signed actually. I think they traded for him last in the offseason. Re-signed, and Braves need to pick up some more money. Wasn't enough. Okay, I'm not going to stop 7. I'm going to go here because I want to see what free agents last time. Had some good ones. This one's not too bad. Last time I had guys that are available. I mean, he had a good season. I understand in real life he's going to retire anyways, but I can understand how he'd be looking for a contract. This is better. Last sim I had McCutcheon off a 30 home run year sitting. Alright, calendar. We're going to advance to the regular season here. This is season 2. Just quickly do this one more time. And then I'm going to try something in the off season here. And then I'm going to try something in the next season. I'm going to try to jack this trade slider up in July to see what happens. I know some of the guys do that to try to increase the trades. I want to see if I can increase the quality of trades at all, to have more action. Because right now I'm running everything default. The only thing I have different is I have budgets off because, man, it's a big trade. Like I said at the beginning and earlier, budgets for whatever reason, you can't make those big trades, and teams just swap players left and right in the offseason with that because they're trying to make moves and make room in their budget. So June, you start seeing a few more trades tick up. Usually get about 6-7 trades in June sometimes. Fuentes gets traded everywhere. much better though with the trades because, like I said, here's Reed again. This is another problem. They multiple times that they're traded in the season. But like I was saying, the default roster is bugged, and I actually was about ready to put the game up for a while. So whoever did this roster originally, and I adjust a little bit. Thankfully, it allows me to do some testing, and hopefully they get it fixed and get a better version out. And I'd like to see. Now here's a contract. Here's a lot of the trades I see, like the younger guys getting traded. But you got Brad Hand and Robbie Ray going the other direction. I guess if you look at it from the other perspective, the other direction, the Blue Jays gave up top prospect here for some vets. Just curious. After we're done here, I want to see where the Blue Jays are, the standings. I'm looking to see what big trades we have. Jack Peterson, he was just signed. Jock, that's a good trade. Mondesi from the Royals. They love getting the shortstops. They picked up Sears just last season and spun them here. So my question is, what's Toro's gonna do? So we'll check that too. Trying to see the roster formations too, see where we are with the how many pitchers they're carrying, how many hitters. Yankees about a right fielder too, so we're getting shortstops and right fielders. That's a big trade. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna not stop. I want to see if there's any big trades. Sometimes there is. The trade deadline. No. All right. Let's see now. I want to see the. Looking to see the Blue Jays and the Yankees. I want to see their lineups. Okay, Hannahar's the DH. Torres the shortstop. Stanton. Hannahar's in right field. So I'm guessing that we have an injury here somewhere. That's a lot of times when you get the trades, it's because of injuries. And Mondesi's on the bench. Let's see if there's any changes. Lineup. No, he's sitting the bench. Let's check out rotation for these guys. Garcia is in there. Not pitching well, but he's in there. I hate this. I know last year they put this in, and come on though. I mean, you could be pitching. These guys could be pitching great, and then they just put them over. It's too quick that they have the hook for these guys to move them out into out of the closer role. I mean, if I go through, I bet I can find a bunch. And you got Holder in here as a closer. I mean, what's this? I mean, last season was Green. That was the closer. I mean, let's see what he had last season. On his 70, he had a bunch of saves. Let's see who they got closers here. See, I mean, the problem is you never see the guy stay as closer. It drives me nuts. It's one of the things I wish that we had control over. It. Very rarely do the closers stay in there, and I know that baseball's changing now. Well, there's certain people that should probably have tags that aren't getting moved out of the closer role. It just isn't going to happen. I mean, Chapman's not going out every year. Like, I'll swap him out. But the contracts that drive me nuts. I mean, this drives me nuts. Closers. Alright, let's see. I was going to check the Blue Jays out, where they are, the standings too. Let's see where the Blue Jays are. Blue Jays. Okay, they traded their best young prospect for vets, and they don't have a chance. They don't have a chance. Let's see what the lineup looks like for them. I don't get it. Let's see. We got Robbie Ray. I mean, this again, look at the contracts here. Can't even get a relief pitcher for that real baseball. You have real contracts, they're only good for the first season. After that, they're worthless. The system has never changed. Oh, let's see here. So that's... Oh, I just don't get that trade. Alright, we're gonna go to calendar. Sim it out. And maybe they're making that late season push. Well, going the wrong direction. Be lucky if they're 500. Again, this is year 2 now again. Don't want to stop for minor leagues. Let's see here. Okay, I want to stop simulating. Take a look. So they didn't make 500. Great trade. Let's see again the awards. Let me take a look at
the
some
regular
progression.
season is winding
Regular had a
down,
heck of a year.
Postseason races are heating up. Here's
Heck
how
of a year.
yesterday's nail-biting action went down. Starting in the AL East,
This
the
contract
Rays grabbed
is
13 hits
definitely
in the game as they defeated the visiting Angels 8-6.
a deal with
As
that.
of today, the Rays
Wow.
have now clinched one of 2
Walker
AL
Buehler.
wildcard spots with the win.
This guy just
While
takes
the
off.
Angels
Look at
sit
him.
second place in the American League West. They're
He's
16
a
and a half
stud.
games out of first. That'll do it for now.
Okay,
Enjoy
so
today's
we
Pennant
have
Chase baseball.
your Cy Young
And don't
winner
forget
as
to
well.
check back in tomorrow morning for all the highlights from the action.
4 years. DeGrom. Stamina's decreasing. He's holding steady there. Bieber. Look at him go. Look at that contract that he has. That's a deal. Garrett Cole. Batting title. Upton had a good year. See statistics there. Trout. Long contract for Trout. See, this is the problem. In 19, I haven't got this far yet. I'm not going to do that today, but if you sim in the future, the league gets so overcrowded that they just release him. He's hitting 20, 30 home runs still, and they release him. $35 million to release because the system, the budget system, doesn't punish a team if they release a player. The money's wiped off, and that's why players retire mid-contract, which I hate. I love the fact when I was at the studios years ago, I had talked them into keeping the contracts in place so that they wouldn't retire. That way, if I wanted to keep a person, I could increase their attributes, edit them so I can keep them. And then a couple years ago, they removed that restriction. Now players are retiring mid-contract again. And once they get to a certain point, no matter what you do with their ratings, they're going to retire on you. It doesn't matter. Here's Asuno. Look at his contract here. It's insane. That's the thing they need to. I'm hoping that they'll look to patch that a little bit. There's rookies. Deep potential. Good year. Twins. Florial. Florial had a heck of a year, didn't he? Wow. See, that's why potential overall really doesn't matter. He had a terrible year. See the other side here of the National League. You see the progression. Sometimes I think that the progression's too fast for certain players, too slow for others. The regression takes off too quickly. And the regression is directly tied to the progression. You'll see that when a player comes in, they start progressing, and there has to be a correlation of somebody else. So when they progress faster, the older player regresses, and that's when they kick them out of the league. They have to balance it that way. The problem is the progression doesn't really translate to stats. You'll see sometimes these players at 85, 90, and they put up horrible stats, 220 batting averages or 5 ERAs in the future. Santana. Wow, Gold Glover, huh? So here you go. Don't really understand how they get the Gold Glove awards. Was my favorite player. Wish the Yankees would have kept him. Glad to see he's still playing. I've seen him retire in other sims. Sanchez had a heck of a year. If we play this year, I'm hoping it was in real life. Okay, top prospects. Let's see if there's anything here. Look at this. Got some guys here, 80 overall. A lot of shortstops. A lot of shortstops. This is where I wish we could sort. Take a look at teams. I'd like to see a team's top prospect list. Have them rankings, things like that. I'd love to see a little bit of. Here's batting averages this second year. So you see the batting averages, team rankings. At bats, runs, hits. Let's check out home runs. Home runs. Runs batted in, stolen bases. But the Yankees at the bottom, yeah. Strikeouts. Who's your top strikeout teams? Well, I would expect. Slugging percentage, on base, yep. Total bases is teams I'd expect. Errors, fielding percentage, ERA. Look at that. Sub 3 ERA team ERA. Let's see if we got any 5s in here. Usually do. No. Yep. Kansas City's terrible. Fulmer had an awful year. Complete games, shutouts, saves, blown saves. Okay, so I'm gonna get to the off season again. So let's send the postseason. Let's see. That's Yankees are playing the Red Sox. Mets and Dodgers. Mets won. Red Sox, so that's a. That's rough on it. Mets won the World Series. That amazes me.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the special postseason edition of Inside the Show. For the 7th and final game of the Major League Baseball World Series, the Mets took down the Red Sox on the road, clinching the World Series championship. It has been a storybook season for them, and they will look to repeat as champions next year.
Good season. Neal, obviously. Alonso, Laporto. Kyle Tucker. Oh, I forgot they signed him. That's a big help. Carosa at the bench. He'll retire probably at the end of the season with that contract. Huh. They put Anderson at second base. I wonder if it was right-handers. So Andrews played second base, secondary position. And their rotation just loaded. Stroman. Look at that contract, that's awful. Syndergaard. Not the best bullpen though. Ponce took over the close role. With a 4.53 ERA. Yeah. The bullpen was awful. Okay. Oop, no, don't want to do that. Alright, let's manage the off season. Okay, at 1 point. Let's see here. Let's see who's retired. Chris Davis. He should retire a long time ago. Look at those numbers. One of the worst contracts ever. Cabrera retired. Didn't even play the whole season. Let's see if I don't see the Mets. So maybe he did retire. Cano's still hanging in there. Pujols is a free agent. Okay, so we got the exclusive period. Let's see if there's any transactions. Here we go. So I get to see some of these ones right here. I should have saved and went back and showed the difference. So one of the things I like to do to try to mix up, I've said it already, is I like to put contracts on manual when I'm doing 30-team control, sim to the day before, release it, and then it gives them a day to make a deal. And then you see more guys hit the free agent market. So let's see if anybody else got snatched up here. But that way you see a little bit more action on the free agent market, like Lindor here already signed. You might have seen a little bit bigger contract if you see them hit the free agent market. This year they're signing more of these guys in the exclusive period than they did before. And my thought process is they really should be hitting the open market. If they're going to wait that long to sign, they're going to hit the open market. Like, I don't know too many players that signed the exclusive period. But here's Syndergaard signed, obviously in the exclusive period. I mean, I don't have a problem with that contract. Matz's though, you saw what Wheeler got last year in real life. I mean, I'd even be happy with $10 million a year. At $5 million, it doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. Let's go to check. I mean, here, okay, I'm even okay with that. I mean, let's see what it is. Yeah, it's probably about $14 million a year average or so. I'm okay with that. It's not ideal, obviously, but this needs to be reworked. The financial aspect, the side of the game needs to be reworked. You're gonna see some of these guys like here. Chris Bryant gets a decent deal. Turns out to be about $30 million a year, average 31, which isn't bad. But you see, like your closers and stuff, they make nothing now. I don't know what happened because this wasn't like this last year, so they must have tweaked some things. And again, it could be rosters. Rosters do things here, but it doesn't seem like they value closers. From difference between a reliever and a closer, I think all value on the closer is gone. Somehow I'd like to see stats be incorporated with free agent contracts, and I know that'd probably be difficult, but I would love to see it. It's how it works in real life, unfortunately, sometimes, but you have those career years and they cash in off them. You see some of these guys with the contracts they signed. They got their extensions, basically extensions, because they signed during an exclusive period. But you'll see some here in a second. You'll see some other contracts that get signed. This is only for the guys that exclusive period. I'll go through and check them out after we look and see what we got here. So here you have some. So here's Yelich. Oh, this contract, like I said, I bet that's more than that. That's only his first year. I wish they fixed this. That bothers me. Baez, he'll get a big deal. Pitchers really don't seem to have it. They don't value the pitchers enough. And I don't know if it's because they flooded the market with them in the later seasons. Here you go, closers. It's like there's no $6 million. Tommy Pham. It's not a bad contract, but I bet it's front loaded. Correa. Schwarber, hey, one I can understand. Alright, here's where you see some contracts. Alright. Calendar, let's see, let's go right here. Just send me off season. Max gives a little discount to go to Houston, huh? They're probably loaded with their pitching. The Yankees always seem to go get Brendan Rodgers. Here we see some trades. Oh, salary dump here. Always see Witt get traded. Royals don't like him for whatever reason. See, I don't like the closers contracts at all. No, because I want to go through and look at the contracts. So we're gonna see if there's any free agent. This is after year 2 again. Yep, every time McCutcheon's a free agent. And I'm wondering what his... it's not as good as it was before. He had a 30 home run year last second year. You start to see every year, you see more and more players that have budgets off, so... I mean, he had a decent year too. I mean, he could probably been picked up, but man, I'm okay with 39-year-olds not getting picked up. Alright, I'm going to try one more. I'm going to go one more season with this. We're going to see the rosters quick. I want to just see contracts. So let's see the bigger ones. Correa. Alright, I'm okay with that contract. Red Sox guy, I'm with Bogarts. I'm just curious how they're playing those guys. Correa's there, and Bogarts is what? The DH. That's a waste of player there, really. Alright. That's really a waste of a player, so I'm gonna sim here. And I'm gonna try to crank up the trade slider in July a little bit. Guys in the slider section usually recommend turning the trade slider up in July, so let's see what happens. Charlie Morton. We're gonna see if there's any big trades here. Now we're 3 years in, and let's see what happens. Just want to see the trades, and when I get to July, I'll jacket Kyle Seager. Rings probably in the garbage. Looking for a trade. It's just like real life. I mean, start picking up in June. The farther the seasons go, though, you see fewer and fewer transactions. You see, there's not as many trades. So this is what I'm going to try. I'm going to try... I already had it up on it. Must have left it up. So... that's interesting. I had it up. And there wasn't many trades. Makes me wonder if it's even working, because with the other roster that they had, it Archie Bradley, James McCann. So seeing some more trades now. So usually what I do, if I have time, I don't think I'm gonna have time today, I'm gonna have to leave. That's a big trade right there. Forrest Whitley. It's a big prospect. I got Brian Anderson for the Astros. Let's see. Get that up. And see, trades, a lot of them are based on injuries. Huh? Wow. Guess they're playing for now. Needed a right fielder too. Tampa. Wow. All right. Let's see, we could trade it all the time. Andrew Miller back to the Yankees. Florial had a great year. They traded him. You definitely see more trades now. The trade slider up. I don't know if they're quality trades. Wow. Now, final year of his contract, they trade for a right fielder. A third. I gotta see why Yankees would do that. They better hope they have a stud shortstop. Oh, I forgot they have Mondesi. Hasn't played many games. But should get another left fielder. You got Voigt's AAA now. Do you have any options left? Huh. Sanchez is taking off. Sanchez taking off. Got Matt Wieters, huh? Cheap. Minor leagues. Still ain't better. So that's why you don't play overall if potential doesn't really work out for you. Huh? What's their record, I wonder? First place, barely. Risky trade. Matt Boyd, that's good. Red Sox building up right now. John Means played right here. Summer baseball right near me. Here's Hicks is having a good season. Tyler Wade's been traded about 6 times. Let's check and see trade block. Bogarts is on the trade block. Martinez is. Dodgers interested. Very rarely do you see Royals. Interesting. I'd die if that happened. Let's see. See, there's a lot of guys on the block now this year, which I like. That's why I think you're seeing a little bit more trades. Which I like. I like having more trades. I want to see some game-changing trades. That's the thing. You got to see those trades that change the complexion of the team. So I'm gonna see what happens here. Sometimes you get the big trade right in the trade deadline. Didn't there. Finish the season off here. I want to see how contracts are affected in the last season. I'm going to turn off. Oh, I want to make sure I do this before I do it. I forget. Okay. I'm going to also show you in this season here how I do manual contracts. So let's see. Let's see about free agents roster. So here's your upcoming free agents. Nola, Trey Turner, Ramirez. So we're gonna see what their contracts are gonna be. So you see they're supposed to have big deals here. We'll see. We're gonna try to boost the market a little bit by doing manual contracts for a while. Right through. Dodgers, Twins, San Diego. Dodgers won it. Twins won the American League Championship, and the Twins win the World Series. Okay. So qualifier offers up to 8-9. Who's retired?
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to this special postseason edition of Inside the Show.
Last couple
For
seasons.
Game 6 of the World Series, the Minnesota Twins held their opponent to just 2 hits as they pushed past the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine, clinching the World Series championship. It has been a storybook season for them, and they will look to repeat as champions next year.
He retired, a couple years left on his deal. So you're gonna have Cano in the Hall of Fame. Okay, so this is what I do. I go to user settings, mode settings, contracts. I put on manual. Okay, we'll apply the changes. Got a calendar. So this is gonna tell you this is the final day for exclusive. So what I do is I sim through this date. Tells you here, don't want to. Okay, I want to stop here. So it gives them 1 day. Gives them 1 day. So I go back. And I'm going to put contracts back on. So I'll show you here. So let's go to exclusive free agency. Okay. That's it. So here's my exclusive free agent period. Who else was free agents? Here's some guys that are free agents. Gives them a chance to tag them, qualify them. So they don't have any offers yet. The computer will automatically put offers and sign some guys, but some of them will get through. Trey Turner here. Alright, so let's see what happens. We're gonna go here. Send to this date. So now we're gonna go back. We're gonna go to tender contracts. Alright. Okay. We're gonna go to free agency. So now you see we have some guys on the market. Nola, they still offer their guys contracts. They just hit the market now. As they hit the market, now see they get a little bit bigger deals. And that's what I'm hoping to do. This is why I said we're going to goose. So we're going to see here. Josh Bell. So I'll go back and look at some of these signings afterwards. But they're going to be substantially higher than that first. Rios, Clevenger. Judge goes to the Cubs. Buxton. They trade Robbie Rice. This drives me nuts here. Somebody like him still make more money than that. Musgrove. Relief pitchers make nothing. Again, here we go. Closers, relief pitchers. And Fuentes has been traded around the league 100 times. Trade Turner Yankees. They love collecting shortstops. So, let's see here. Let's check out a roster. So this is where you see kind of where their contracts are, the new guys. Starting Castro still in the league, still making some money. Again, Robbie Ray. Got a deal. Let's see what it is. Probably around $10 million a year. A little bit more. It's around 12, 11, something like that. 11 and a half. Girl, nothing. Judge. Look at this contract. You got long deal. Probably 28, about 30 million. I'm guessing about, yeah, it's close to 30 million, a little more a year. And they signed Contreras too. So open the wallets a little bit now. So you see, but see what'll happen. The Yankees now close the wallets. Hater. They should make a ton of money. Let's see what else we have. It's a good contract for him. Yeah, like this one I wanted to see. Didn't look at last. Yeah, made pretty good money. See, the higher end guys make the money. It's the mid-range guys, and it's the relief and closers that are, and even starting pitchers really don't make the money they should. But here, you see, it's the 10 million across the board even would be better, but still should be more. Just he's cashing in. Buxton. Paying him on potential. Red Sox opening up. So the Yankees. Oh, that's right. They got Trey Turner. Got Trey. Everybody else. Part duel. That's the Yankees' MO. Bring guys back the second time around. Now look at Chapman here. He signs again and $6.5 million. This, he's going year to year contracts for the Yankees. Nine, now $6 million. Crazy. Just don't get it. That's the things that bother me. Baez, yeah, last year, good contract. Okay, let's see. Well, let's just see now. Other contracts we're gonna get. Diaz again. No. Okay, too low. Will Smith, low. There's a trade. Jack Peterson, all over the league. Gurriel traded again. I want to see towards the end here what we have for progression and rosters and who goes unsigned. Oh, guess what? Traded again. Unreal. Multiple trades. Okay. I'm not going to stop. Alright, we're going to go here. We're going to take a look at... I want to look at the budgets first. So we have an idea of what teams are looking at. So now, this is why I turn budgets off, because when we get further on, it allows teams to go over. So you see the prediction cash flow here. They're in the negative because they've actually signed some guys here and they haven't lost other players. And they're not sitting in free agency. But you're not seeing the budgets as high as they probably should be even still for farther down the road. I mean, look at this. The Mariners have a $47 million budget for all their teams. Your Rangers $121 million. Just there's no signing of guys to contracts that are worthwhile. The arbitrations, anything, none of them are worth anything. Even the Astros at 173. Really, I mean, you have guys, the mid-range guys and the lower tier guys just don't get paid, so that affects the total budget. The Braves here, I mean, they have a higher budget now. Real life. Miami. I mean, Washington's going down there at 158. Mets 181. With all the talent they have guys that's just not getting paid. The Stroman deal. 139 for the Phillies. And you had two guys basically making $50 million. Cubs, even with them at only $202 million. With the signs they've had. 116 for the Reds, 85 for the Brewers, 104 for the Pirates, Diamondbacks 96, Rockies 157. And they're top heavy here. They got about almost $75 million right here on 3 players. About half their budget on 3 players, and that's it. Dodgers only at 212. And like I said, I've turned off the budget, so no real excuse. So I know people have said they exploded. I mean, this is really what the Red Sox are now anyways. I mean, they're around that area. And my Yankees, they keep going though. I'd like to see that. They had to pay Sanchez, all these guys. Tanaka's still holding on. I love Tanaka. Now this just drives me nuts. Severino comes off it. How'd that happen, actually? Severino had a deal. I have to take a look at it, but he's paid 10 years. The contract just changed. I wish I had the rosters in front of me here that I could look, because I'm trying to think in real life. Severino's had a contract for. Let me see what Severino's contract was. I'm gonna have to look this up. But But he was like 10 million a year for so many years. This. Okay, here's the contract details. Alright, let's see what we got here. So in 2022, he had $11 million. And 2023 is a club option of $15 million. So how is the Major League service time correct then? Because it said he had 3 years. It says here he has 3 years service time. We said 3 years. He should be a free agent. So they must have just renewed him or offered him arbitration. Stats. Yeah, look at these numbers. It's crazy. That's crazy. Here you go. There's Indians. They're actually one of the higher paid teams right now. Angels. Still got Trout. What's this? He regressed at all? Still 99. Yeah, it makes no sense to me. Alright, so let's check out free agents. Any free agents here? So we had last year. Not a bad year. Especially as a closer. Yeah, I don't see anything here that's anything that bothers me. Nothing that bothers me at all. Yeah, this does. He's only a C potential, I guess. But look at this. A couple of years he had. He had that one. Huh. Alright guys, I gotta get going. If there's anything you want me to take a look at or ask, put in the questions, comments, question answers, and I'll take a look at it later tonight. And I'll try to get back on if you guys want me to. Because I've never streamed before at all. So I grabbed my son's microphone and I give it a shot. So if you want to see something, let me know. I'll try to get on it for you and try to work on it. Hey, have a good day guys. Stay safe.